Hey viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to another round of Surrey Being Hunted, something like episode 585 now, this one. Oh no, 584, I didn't say 484 then, which would be way out. But yes, joined by two guests actually today. Phil, as usual, is with me.
Or am I?
No, you're not. Okay, alright.
That is not a thing. I
One
do not
guest
exist.
then.
I am not here. No. Yes.
Indeed.
But we do have a special guest joining us.
Yes, it's the first time actually we've had two people watching in as I flail around in this game and just rabbit on about random shit. So, Phil, do you want to introduce our second guest?
It is. I will introduce our second guest. This is Connor. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Connor, and say a few words to the viewing ship.
Hey guys, nice to be on a YouTube video for once. I've got a small YouTube channel myself, but I've never actually recorded any audio or put anything on there, so I'm making my debut.
Nice. Audio debut, yeah. It's like the next big step in actually hearing your own voice on the video and then realising that you sound a lot squeakier than you actually think you do.
Yeah, definitely.
All that kind of thing.
Or something like that. It's because I think there's some like scientific thing where when you hear your own voice through yourself, you basically the reason you sound different is because when you hear your own voice talk, it actually reverberates through your body and through your skull, and that's why you sound like deeper or something than you do when you actually normally record. There's some scientific fact for it, but when you actually listen to your voice out of that, it sounds strange.
Yeah, you definitely sound cooler when you.
Yes, I sound very sophisticated. But then
yes,
your video back is like,
I
feel so very sophisticated, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
It's like your skull's going, I'll make you sound badass.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, how are you two guys doing? How's the weekend treating you so far?
For me, it's pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Been quite chill, been up early, been shopping and just, chilling at home.
Not bad.
Yeah, but I've been chilling as well, going to the gym as well because I like going to the gym. I've already been twice today, so that's fun.
Yeah.
I'm always up nice and early anyway. I like getting up. I've got like a routine where I like staying up early, even on weekends. I've been up since about what time? I've been up since about 6:30.
Yeah,
to
you
7.
always are a bit of an early bird, aren't you, Phil?
Extremely early, yeah. It's because I'm used to for work. I'm usually up about 4:45. Yeah, so I can get a gym session in the morning before I start, and then on the weekend it's just you keep with your body clock, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I was actually texting you earlier, Phil, about something interesting that I'd actually found, and Phil, you know very much how quite often with games like Surrey Being Hunted, whenever I do episodes of them on the channel, usually I just sort of like talk about random shit, just almost doing kind of like a podcast.
We've got 580 episodes of it now.
Indeed.
God only knows how much we talked about. We talked from here till the sun.
Indeed, we have. So usually just, it ends up turning very much into a podcast with just gameplay footage in the background rather than necessarily gameplay footage with me just sort of commentating about it. But no, I was texting you earlier because I'd encountered an article actually online. It was from Smooth Radio here in the UK. And it was kind of inspired a bit because I've been watching a load of Game Grumps 10-minute Power Hour videos recently. Including a couple where they were looking at kids' toys from the 1980s and 1990s.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay.
So naturally, because here's the thing, Connor, me and Phil, I feel like there's a lot of episodes where me and Phil record together and we just sort of engage in a load of childhood nostalgia where we're talking about 90s stuff.
That's the best kind, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is. Well, I assume that Game Grumps toys might be different because I know that there are some specific British toys, and obviously the Game Grumps are American.
Yeah.
Some British toys that we'll have that they don't have, and they have and that we don't have.
Yeah. But I found a great article from Smooth Radio, which basically... So it's 1970 to 2018. It's like top 5 toys that were sold. Well, top 5 toys in terms of numbers sold at Christmas year by year.
Okay.
So I was thinking, let's have a bit of nostalgia here, Phil. Let's go back over the 1990s, so from about 1990 to 2000 first and foremost.
I think there'll
or
be some
beyond.
1980s toys, won't
Yeah,
there? No doubt
there
that we
will
may
be.
have picked up.
Yeah.
That might still be in fashion. That have gone through to the
Oh, yeah.
1990s and things like that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But
Christmas toys,
yeah.
it's a bit early. We're only in bloody July.
Well, it's only probably another 100 or so years. I said years.
100 or so years until Christmas.
Days even till next Christmas. Good Lord, yeah. It's been so long since last Christmas, I can't even remember. So I was just wondering, where should we start? Should we start? I think if we start at 1990, just because I think if we go,
I think
from,
we're all
like,
1990s people, aren't we?
I'm a 90s kid, yes.
90s kids, yeah. So we can always make a bit of a game out of this. So for each year, I've got the top 5, like I say, and some of these you might be able to guess. Some of these will be much more obscure, but we'll see how many you can get. So we'll start 1990, and obviously it being the 90s, I'm sure you can guess there will be a fair number of video game consoles on this list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, because we had they were starting to come to the forefront.
Indeed,
Really,
they
weren't they?
Yes.
Into everyone's minds.
Okay, so 1990. We'll start with there. And if I was to ask you two, if you had to take any sort of wild guess at what sort of toys you think were best sellers in the year 1990, any particular guesses before I start revealing everything?
That's a tricky one.
Would it be the SNES? When was the SNES? Or the
I was going to say
NES?
Sega Mega Drive. When's that?
Yeah.
Is that a bit late? Is that
Connor,
92 or something?
Connor, I will say Sega Mega Drive is number 3 for 1990, so you're right about that one. Yes.
Oh, okay, so there we go. Nice one.
Yeah.
Sega Mega Drive, yeah.
Indeed.
Our survey says.
Yeah, you would have scored a point there if you were, doing this with Vernon Kay or whoever presents Family Fortunes these days. But
yes, it is Bernard Kay. It was Les Dennis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh god, those were the best. That was the best one. Les Dennis.
Indeed. Yeah.
Gotta go fast. Oh no.
Yeah. So Sega Mega Drive was number 3 for that year. I'll just rattle through the other ones and see how many of these you actually do remember. So in number 1, first place for 1990 was apparently Teenage Mutant Ninja action figures, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures.
Yes, I think the
Yeah.
TV show was very prevalent during that period,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
indeed. Number 2 was a board game. Any of you play Mousetrap back in the day?
Yes.
I
Oh
love
god.
Mousetrap.
Yeah.
Oh god, wasn't it a game? It was like a board game version of a Rube Goldberg machine, wasn't it?
Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Indeed it was. So number 3 obviously was Sega Mega Drive. Number 4 was one that you probably will remember. It'll be familiar. Polly Pocket.
Oh
Yeah.
god. Shite. Oh god, my sister was obsessed with that.
Yeah.
No, honestly, she loved Polly Pocket
Indeed.
when she was younger. But yeah, not a toy for me.
Yeah. And the 5th one for 1990. This is a very obscure one. I wouldn't have got this one, but apparently it was Mr. Frosty Ice Crunchy Machine, which...
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I remember seeing adverts for that.
Do remember that
yes,
one? Okay.
it sounds vaguely familiar.
I wouldn't have got that myself, to be honest.
It might have been the re-release I'm thinking of, but I've definitely heard the name before.
Yeah.
Frosty, yeah. Oh, your own ice cream machine, yeah. But I remember, because obviously back then, wasn't there there was the war, wasn't there, between Sega and Nintendo?
Yes.
Because they were both strong giants, and there was that famous, was it by the Genesis can do what Nintendo don't?
Was that the slogan?
Yeah, that was the slogan that Sega used. But that was the time when Sega were actually a powerhouse, and they were obviously a massive war with Nintendo. Now, poor little Sega have sort of been shoved to the bottom of the barrel.
Just a little bit, yeah. Indeed. But, yes, that's 1990. Some there that I do recognise, some that I didn't. But getting on to 1991, so the year I was born. So, once again, number 1 is a video game console. So, any guesses as to what that might be around about that time?
Sega Saturn, maybe?
I was going to... Oh, do you know what, Connor? I was actually going to say the Sega Saturn.
So
yeah.
it's not the Sega Saturn, but it is
The
a
Atari
Sega
Jaguar.
one. It's not Atari, it's a Sega one. I'll say that. Anyone remember?
Was it the Game Gear?
It was the Game
Sega?
Gear, yes, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. I've also actually got prices, what they cost back then, on this
God.
list as well. So in 1991, a Sega Game Gear would have cost you £97.95.
Yeah, but today's money, that'd be something like 200 quid, won't it? Or 300 quid.
You're actually quite close to the mark there, Phil. Adjusted for inflation today, that would be £204.24.
Okay.
Yeah, so indeed. Yeah, things get more and more expensive. Indeed.
A bit of disposable income. I don't think, many children would have that sort of money. Many parents might struggle to get that for their kids, but when you open it on Christmas morning,
Yeah. Number 2 was also a video game console for 1991. Any guesses on that one? I've already mentioned the company.
NES?
It's Nintendo, but it's not.
Game Boy.
It's the Game Boy, yes.
Oh, really? The Game Boy? I thought the Game Boy was 1992.
No, it's 1991, apparently, according to this.
Okay.
Yeah, so indeed. But I remember, the picture's actually on the site where I got this from. That tiny little fucking screen with barely any colour on it. So it's like,
the Game Boy. Yeah, I did have the Game. Well, I got the Game Boy Color.
Okay,
was,
fun
fact. I never
yeah.
tried out the black and white one.
Yeah.
I had the black and white one.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Yeah, Game Boy Pocket.
Do you have
you have
fond
the
memories of
printer?
that one? Yeah.
Pardon?
Did you have the printer at all?
No, I didn't. I have seen it though.
Yeah, the printer. Sorry.
Excellent quality.
Yeah. Indeed. Enough said about that one. But the thing is, Phil, you mentioned the Game Boy Color a moment ago. That is somewhere on this list for the 1990s, but not 1991.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So we'll have to see when that comes up, in which year that one is. Number 3, I'll give you a clue for number 3. Something that you might have on a hot summer's day and you might drive your siblings and parents mad with it outdoors in the garden.
Vuvuzela. No.
No. Indeed. Something that, let's say, if I had to do an impersonation of a parent, it would be something like, what are you doing? You're getting absolutely soaking wet. Get inside and get changed. Something like that.
Super soaker.
It is a super soaker, yes.
Oh, I think
Nice.
me and you, Connor, were on the same. Yeah,
definitely.
Super Soaker 50, more specifically. That was
No
number
points
3.
for that.
No. I'll give it to you for Super Soaker. I don't want the exact number.
I do remember that being the thing. Loads of people, obviously, it's strange that it was. Quite a few people got it for Christmas when you would think it'd be more of a summer item. Because there'd be loads of people wanting to use it in the summer.
Yeah. Probably people looking forward, hoping for summer 1992 to be pretty, good weather for a bit of water gun action.
Water fights.
Yeah.
You can shoot the water into your Mr. Frosty ice cream.
That's it, yeah.
Yes.
Using both the items.
Yeah. So for number 4, there's something more specific here. So instead, I'll get you to try and guess the brand. And Phil, I'm wondering if you might be able to guess this. This is a German brand, this one.
Right.
Basically, so if I had to sort of draw an analogy, it'd be kind of like Lego in terms of they have lots of sets, but they have like little sort of people, like cars and houses, things like that.
Playmobil.
It's a Playmobil one, yes. It's specifically Playmobil Victorian Dollhouse, which is very specific. But yeah, I'll give you the point for Playmobil. There you go.
We had Playmobil actually. We had a train one. I think it only had one station, but it was a train that just went round and round, and you could drive it.
Indeed. Oh, yeah, we're getting off at the one station. Indeed. And number 5 is a very obscure one. I don't really remember this, so...
Okay.
It's
what is it?
Quint's Dolls, apparently, at $6.99, something like that.
Quint's Dolls?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Indeed. Like I say, there's some obscure ones on this list, which I would not
You
have
would
got
think
myself.
it can't be that obscure if it was a best-selling item. Yeah.
That's the thing, don't remember it at all. From that decade, so weird. 1992.
The year I was born.
Yes. I'll see if I can put on my best voice for this one and see if you can sort of get roughly what it is. Oh yeah, we have to talk about wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's terrible. That's a terrible voice, but the clue is it's something to do with wrestling.
Oh God, I don't know much to do with wrestling.
That was my attempt at impersonating Macho Man Randy Savage. I know.
I got Randy Savage from that.
Yeah.
What, was it an action figure?
Is it a doll or is
It's
it
an
the
action
actual
figure.
arena?
It's basically it's WWF action figures. So
Not for me. Not for me. That I'm not a wrestling fan,
into
really.
wrestling, into your Hulk
My
Hogan.
girlfriend loves them.
Yeah. Number 2. Okay, I'll try and give a clue for this one that Phil, in particular, you might get this one. I've sort of talked about this show here on So You're Being Hunted before. It was an old childhood favourite of mine, produced by one Jerry Anderson.
Oh, I can't remember. I haven't watched your Jerry Anderson. So You're Being Hunted in a while.
A while?
That's one
Okay.
tonight, maybe.
Okay, Connor, know any Jerry Anderson shows?
No.
No, don't know any. Oh,
Struggling.
God. It was basically number 2 was the Thunderbirds Tracy Island.
Okay.
Yeah, which I probably would have played the shit out. Well, I would have played the hell out of it if I'd had it as a kid. But 1992, because I think around about then, I believe a lot of Jerry Anderson shows from the 60s were having reruns. So
Right.
Thunderbirds
Okay.
was
Thunderbirds
one
on go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were they the ones that were had like you could see the strings?
Yes, it was a super variation,
that
so
was-
they were
yeah.
puppets, yeah. It was International Rescue, the ones who go around rescuing people with crazy machines and things like that.
Yeah.
It was hella good, yes. Number 3, someone has actually already mentioned this one, another video games console for
Game Boy Color.
Not the Game Boy Color.
That's a good one. The SNES.
It's the SNES, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
At £99.99 back in the day.
Inflated. Did you inflate them, eh?
Inflated, that would now be £208.98, roughly.
That's still cheaper than today's.
That's
console.
that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
Good old Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think that's what put Nintendo ahead of Sega at this point.
Yeah,
That was that.
indeed. Classic video game console and all that. But, so number 4 and 5, I wouldn't have guessed these myself.
Okay.
But number 4 was apparently one called The Littlest Pet Shop.
Oh, yeah,
my-
that was like Polly Pocket, I think.
Yeah, it was.
That's
Oh
like
my!
unlocked a memory in my brain.
Do you remember the adverts? Does anyone remember the adverts for that?
No,
Oh,
I don't.
Good God. Good God, the adverts
We had
were.
like dogs in a salon or something.
Yeah,
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
All right.
On the advert, I think.
and then there was a crazy song. Do 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 do. The Littlest Pet Shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised, actually. I didn't remember that one at all. So I was like,
Never
oh, God.
had it, just seen the advert.
Yeah, I remember the adverts for it with that crazy tune in it. It was really funny, but it was like they had like dogs in a saloon and cats and cats being brushed and everything. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, indeed. And number 5 was Slap Bracelets.
Oh God.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember those.
Ah.
They were a phenomenon all over the place. I remember at school and everything, everyone using them, smacking their hand against them against
You always
their
got them
hand.
in like a goodie bag, didn't you? At a children's party or
Yes.
something. They always threw one in there.
I think everyone loved the way that it just curled around your wrist.
Yeah.
So
Really
easy and
easily.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. So that's 1992, wasn't it? Yes. Was it 2? Oh, robots are attacking me. 1993. So
Yeah, I
this
was
is
born.
there we go.
It's all gone in consecutive. Oh, you're getting attacked. Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah,
well,
it's fine. I can
robots,
escape.
A robot's trying to kill you. He's like, I've had enough of you talking about these years. Head off.
Yeah. 1993. Number 1. This is one that I wouldn't have guessed.
Oh.
Don't know if you want to take any guesses at this one.
Action Men.
Action Man is on for 1993, but he's in 3rd place, not number 1. So, half point for you there. Yeah. Number 1 is something called the Talk Boy. Does anyone remember what that was?
Is that like Stretch Armstrong? Like a variation of.
I don't know, actually. I have no idea what that
Boy.
was. Yeah. Is it like something that talks, maybe? I'm not sure.
Talk Boy. Is it like the Pit Boy?
I was going to say that.
Fallout references.
Oh, dear. Yes. And number 2 actually is also a doll, but not aimed at boys.
Barbie.
Barbie, yeah, it's Barbie.
Oh
number
God,
f-
isn't that prevalent at the moment?
Indeed.
Considering all the rage of this new Barbie movie.
The Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the biggest movies at the moment, isn't it? Along with what's the-
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Two very opposite ends
yeah.
of the spectrum, isn't it?
2 very different movies, I was about to say. Yeah, one all very pink and very fun, and then the other one very grim. But indeed.
I would like to. Yeah, I would definitely wouldn't be interested in the Barbie film, but the Oppenheimer one does
Yeah.
sound interesting. Is it to do with Robert Oppenheimer's discovery of the atomic bomb? Is that what
Yeah,
it's all
it's to do
about?
with
Yeah.
the creation of the atom bomb, things like that. Yeah.
Something he absolutely
regretted.
Didn't.
Indeed. Number 4.
Okay.
Right, so something, this one, that you can mould with your hands. Number 4.
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh, yes.
Surely.
It is, yeah, it's Play-Doh.
With the weird smell.
Yeah. Ever eat it?
No. I've got an interesting fact for you about Play-Doh.
Yeah.
When the designers first created it, they first created it as wallpaper cleaner.
Really?
And then found out that they weren't actually getting anywhere with it. It wasn't selling well, and it wasn't. But then they noticed that their kids were actually having fun with it. Yeah, were eating it as well, but they're also having fun with it. So they decided to market it as a kids' toy thing.
Well, if you can't use it for one thing, yeah, then that's how to really hack something so you can actually make a use out of it. That is,
Exactly.
yeah. Number 5 is a board game. Don't know if you'll get it. Not Monopoly.
Kaplunk.
Not Kaplunk. No.
Frustration.
So this is something that I'm assuming, because I have seen videos on it before on YouTube.
Right.
I'm assuming this would have been marketed at girls, probably. Just saying. It's called Dream Phone. Does anyone remember that?
No, would have never have got that.
Dream Phone.
There is a fantastic video on YouTube that someone did of a clip of a Yogscast stream, Yogscast Booth and Lydia actually looking at Dream Phone. It's quite funny, but basically it tells you what that game was and how ridiculous it was. Essentially, it was a board game where it had sort of like a plastic pink telephone, and you go around the board and you contact generic hot 90s white boys, and they tell you things. It's really weird. Very 90s, let me say like that. It's mainly funny just for looking at the fashion sense on these pictures of these 90s kids on it. It's really strange.
Yeah, there was some strange fashion back then, wasn't there?
Indeed. Alright, so that's 1983. 1994.
That's the year that my sister was born.
Yeah. So in first place is an action figure thing again. Can you guess what franchise the
G.I. Joe.
Not G.I. Joe, though. They were definitely popular in the 90s. Another sort of show that you might have watched as kids. I'll give you a clue. Each character had a different colour.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. There you go. Yes, indeed.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So I must say, didn't really actually
I almost
watch...
said Teletubbies. But,
Teletubbies. Oh God.
It fits the description.
Yeah. Technically, yes, it does. You're right.
It does fit the description, but they're not really
action.
a fighting force, are they? The Teletubbies.
Indeed. You don't remember that one episode where Nunu went ham on all the other
That's
Teletubbies?
it.
Got sick of cleaning up
Oh
all
God, it wasn't Nunu the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that was such a freaky. Like, why was there a baby in the sun?
I know.
What on earth was that?
What were those weird like periscope things that would come out of the ground and then start talking?
Yeah.
It was like, where have
And there
the
was that
Teletubbies
stupid
gone?
controversy. Have any of you heard? The controversy about Tinky Winky.
Oh yes. What was that?
The controversy was because he was carrying a handbag. He was gay.
That
was.
Everyone got the knickers in a twist about
What?
it.
Well, people will just find anything to find controversy in, won't they?
Yeah.
They'll just find anything. Just enjoy it, leave it alone. It's a kid's show.
It's not even a
Okay,
kid show,
let
it's a
the kids
freaking show
enjoy
for babies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the debate, and then when you got a bit older, you progressed to tweenies. That was it.
Oh god!
I remember the
Don't
tweenies.
mention the tweenies, because as soon as you mention the tweenies, I get the theme tune in my head and I can't get it out for the rest of the day, and it drives me freaking mental. I've got it.
What did the
now.
Teletubbies call their toast? What was it again?
Tubby Toast.
Tubby
That's
Toast?
it.
Yeah.
Tubby Toast.
Indeed. Yes. Right. So yeah.
Power
that was
Rangers.
number
Yeah.
one. Second one is also action figures, but this one I actually don't really remember.
Bratz.
Not Bratz. No. Does anyone remember Biker Mice from Mars?
Yeah, it was an old TV show, wasn't it?
Was it?
I never watched it, but I remember it being on.
Yeah, I don't remember that one really.
No,
at
I
all.
don't remember
Turn
that
it
one,
over.
really.
No, it's pretty obscure. So less said about that one, the better, by the sounds of it. Number 3. So this one was like a soft toy, I guess.
Beanie Babies.
Not Beanie Babies, but I'm pretty sure they're on the list at some point. Something that I'm guessing probably would have been more marketed at girls. Once again,
Bratz.
not Bratz.
See, I'm just stealing your answers now, Connor. Stealing them, taking them off as my own. Ooh, Talk about plagiarism.
Same wavelength. That's why.
Yeah.
Same
Anyone,
wavelength.
There's an audio delay. We're saying them at the same time.
Yeah.
but-
Exactly.
Indeed. Cabbage Patch Kids, ladies and gents. Anyone
Oh
remember
God!
those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember those were freaky little dolls. They were. I think there was something where there was a Cabbage Patch doll where you can actually feed it something, and it had an internal motor in its mouth, and it caused issues where like girls with long hair would get their hair stuck in it, and it would start to eat it and then pull them in. It was like almost like, oh my God, what is it? Are you trying to make a saw trap?
That was actually the inspiration for the Terminator films, I think.
Yeah.
Mummy, I'm being eaten alive by the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Help me!
Oh dear.
And then the Cabbage Patch Kid goes, that cutesy voice, but then eventually goes, "I will kill you all."
All you do in your sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Number 4 is another sort of in the same vein as Play-Doh, something you could probably sort of manipulate with your hands, like a weird substance kind of thing.
It's not that magic sand.
Not magic sand, no.
Slime, right?
I guess you could say it's kind of a slime sort of thing.
Putty.
Silly putty, yes. There you go.
Silly putty.
There you go, yeah. And number 5 is one that I don't remember, called Dear Diary, so I don't know if anyone remembers what that was. Yeah.
I think that was just a diary that you could lock.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that was literally what it was.
Oh, you could write your stuff in
Right.
there. Yeah, no, I've never heard of that one.
So that was 1994. Hang on, I've got misplaced the freaking sheet for 1995. Ah, here it is. Yeah.
What's 1995 then?
1995. So number 1 is another video game console.
God, they were rampant, weren't they?
They
Through
were.
the 90s.
Yeah. Well, it was that era when loads of them were coming out and all that. So
Well, they had to, because a decade ago when the video game Crash.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Atari.
Yes.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much
ET.
for doing that. And then Nintendo, luckily Nintendo came in and brought it back.
So this video game console at number 1 for 1995, first of its kind.
The
I'll say
Magnavox
that.
Odyssey.
PlayStation 1.
PlayStation, yes, PlayStation 1.
Of course it was. Yes, that was
Yeah.
about. Oh, actually, I was thinking the PlayStation 1 was 1996, but no, it could have been 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently it was that
of course.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2. Okay.
That's when Sony came into the fray then.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Indeed. So number 2. How do I describe this one? So all the Fortnite players love to talk about their plays of the game. So they often use the word poggers, but of course, what were the original? What was the original?
Pogs.
Yeah, just pogs. Yeah.
Oh, Fogs.
Yeah, indeed.
They were like more giant versions like Tiddlywinks.
Yeah, essentially. Flipping them over and all that. I do
that was a
vaguely
game.
remember them. Yeah,
Yeah,
They were
Pogs.
very collectible.
they were.
And then they
yeah.
just disappeared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good question.
Things like that happen,
What
don't
happened
they?
to them?
Like one-hit wonders in the in the sort of like collectible field. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pogs were definitely one of them. They were. I remember them being the rage and on the school playgrounds.
Yeah,
And then they just vanished. Like
Yeah.
like the snap bracelets, they sort of vanished as well.
indeed. Then number 3 is one we've already mentioned. Soft toy again.
Soft toy. Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies, yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, when we were younger, me and my sister collected loads of them.
Yeah.
There was actually,
Also had
funnily enough,
loads.
when we lived in Germany, there was actually a little shop that actually specifically sold Beanie Babies, and we'd go into there and we'd get them from time to time when we were really young.
Yeah.
Also, because the fact that in the bag that they gave us some sweets as well. So,
Ooh,
2 for
yeah.
1 deal.
doubling up.
Excellent. Yes.
But yeah, we used to get lots of Beanie Babies, me and sister, when we were extremely young back then.
Yeah.
And
I
it
remember
was-
them, but funny thing is, I can't remember any specific ones.
The one that was my favourite was the sort of green bear one.
All right.
Yeah.
God, I don't
Did you have
remember
any,
that one.
Connor?
Yeah, I remember having loads of them, but as Andrew said,
It's funny, isn't it? You can't remember specific ones. It's weird.
That's the only one I can remember.
they all
was
just
the
blur
green
into
hairy one.
colour.
Yeah, indeed. So numbers 4 and 5 for 1995. I didn't recognise either of these two, so I'll just go through them and see if you recognise them. Number 4, Sky Dancers. Do you remember what that was?
Oh, yes, I remember that. That was
Did you
also
wind them
the-
up and like launch them from
Yeah,
like
they
a
fling, wouldn't they?
gun
Oh,
thing?
is that what they were?
They were in that Yogscast. Do you remember the very important video playlist?
Oh.
There's one where there's one of those sky dancers and it goes into the fire.
Oh, is that what that is? Yeah,
was
I
a
know which
Sky
video you
Dancer.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that clip as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Sky Dancer. I think.
That thing. All right. Okay. I wouldn't have guessed
I
that.
think you wind it up and then you pull the little cord and it just spins out of its thing and goes flying.
Yeah. Indeed. And number 5 was something called Baby All Gone, which I'm guessing is a doll or something.
Baby all gone.
I don't remember that at all.
No, never heard of that one.
No.
Sounds
Okay.
like a dodgy tablet.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
does actually, doesn't it?
Are they trying to ban that in America at the moment? Something like that? Oh, dear. 1996 then. So, in first place is another soft toy. This one actually has a little gimmick to it. It makes certain sounds if you do something to it. Any guesses?
Oh no, it's not. Oh no, not the creepy creatures, Furbies.
Not Furbies.
Oh,
Not Furbies.
Furby is coming, though, in
Of
another
course
year.
it is. Oh god, they
I'll say
were
that.
creepy.
Bit more
other
innocent.
soft-
It was hang on, how to describe it? It was a character from a kids' TV show, and it was red. This character,
Well, that could be Poe from the Teletubbies.
not Poe. It was Tickle Me Elmo. Remember Tickle Me
Ah.
Elmo? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that one. So number 2, to go on to that one, I'll give you a clue for this one. I'll try and get my best singing voice on here. You got a friend in me.
Woody
Oh.
doll.
Not Woody.
Sorry.
Not
Buzz.
Woody. Buzz, yes, there you go. I kind of gave it away, actually. That clue
Yeah.
was too obvious. Should have gone for
Yeah,
something a bit better.
they did Buzz Lightyear dolls as well,
Yeah,
didn't they? Yeah,
Buzz
because I think at that stage, I think was 1996 the first Toy Story film.
I'm guessing it probably was. Yeah, around about
So
then.
no doubt that'll be famous. Yeah,
Indeed,
because everyone will
indeed.
probably gone to see the movie and they want the actual doll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. Number 3. So 3 and 4 again are ones that I don't remember, so we'll just blitz through these. Number 3, Doodle Bear. And remember Doodle Bear, whatever that was?
Doodle Bear. No.
If I had to guess, you could draw on it or something.
It sounds
maybe?
like, yeah, something maybe
Yeah.
to do with drawing, but I'm not 100% sure. Number 4, Gooey Louie.
Gooey Louie?
Yeah, apparently.
Are you making shit up here?
No.
No,
This is
no, I've heard of that.
Oh,
have you heard of
It's
Gooey
in a
Louie?
bin or something.
Oh, right.
I only
Okay.
remember like the advert, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that one at all. I'm assuming maybe it was like something that could stretch or something along those lines.
I think it was mostly slime kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Gooey Louie. Okay. Sounds
That
intriguing.
makes sense. Yeah. Right. So number 5 is something that merchandise for another movie that I'm assuming came out around this time. I'll give you a clue. It featured Looney Tunes characters.
Ooh.
Sorry, that's my attempt at sort of impersonating the theme tune. But now that I think about it, that's actually a really bad impersonation and probably doesn't make it any easier.
I don't know.
I'll give you another clue. Not only Looney Tunes characters, but also there was a famous basketballer in it.
I was going to say, when did Space Jam come out?
It's
I thought that
Space
was
Jam action figures.
much earlier.
It is
It's
Space Jam.
Jam.
Yeah,
Okay.
indeed. So,
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Why cross Michael Jordan with Looney Tunes characters? That was a bit of a bizarre
Yeah.
move, but it seemed to work well,
It was
didn't
a
it? 'Cause
success, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Because wasn't there a Space Jam 2?
Yeah, there was, I think. Indeed. But yes, I was actually reading about Space Jam recently. It was a weird crossover, and there were a lot of actors who turned it down because they were like, "What? I don't think this is going to work."
But Michael Jordan was like, I'm up for this. I've
Yeah.
got time in between my basketball and my NBL
Yeah.
to do it. Also, 1996, I believe, was the year that for the first Pokemon game was released.
Was
I think it was
now?
1996. Yeah, the Pokemon Red, Blue, and
Yeah.
Green.
They'll be the top 5s for the rest of the video.
Yeah, top 5 video.
So there is a Pokemon thing in 1 year, so keep your eyes peeled for that one.
I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah. So on to 1997. First place, another video game console. Do you remember what it was?
What would have been 1997? What video game console would have been playing about then? What would have been released in 1997?
Game Boy Advance.
Not the Game Boy Advance, no.
Is that the one with the Game Boy Color?
Nope, that's not the Game Boy Color. Not yet.
I think the Game Boy Advance, Con. I think that might be 2001. That. I think it was quite. I think it might have been as late as that. But I don't know. 1997.
It's a Nintendo one, I'll say that. Can anyone guess which Nintendo?
No, Nintendo 64 came out then.
64, yes.
Oh, was it
Wow.
64?
Yes,
Right.
indeed.
Of course it was, yeah.
Yeah, and that would have set you back £150 back then, apparently. Today, that would be, well, as of 2018, I should say, that would be about 265.15, round about that.
Ooh, okay.
Mm,
Ooh,
it's
it's
all
somewhat
right.
expensive, that.
Yeah, indeed. So, number 2. So this was something very, very small that you'd hold in your hand. And it had very pixely black and
Tamagotchi.
white Tamagotchi. Yes.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good shout there, Connor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Tamagotchi. That was another massive craze.
Yeah.
Everyone trying to keep their little virtual pets alive.
Yeah.
And then some
Indeed.
people just couldn't be asked, left it, and then turned it on. A few months later, found that the pet died.
Starved to death. Such
Yeah.
is the circle of life, children. There you go. Do you know it was like just preparing kids for inevitably when they become parents, or pet owners or whatever. Look after them. Don't leave them to die.
It's baby all gone, isn't it? The Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So 3 and 4 for 1997. Now this is a bit of a weird one. So
Okay.
for both of these, the list just has like the generic name of the franchise. So I don't know if it's referring to something like some specific merchandise or if it just means maybe like these specifically on like VHS or something.
Right.
But number 3 was a kids' TV show that we've already mentioned.
Tweenies.
Not Tweenies.
Teletubbies.
Teletubbies, yes.
Oh, it is?
That
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah. I'm assuming it just means it on like VHS or something because it doesn't say
Teletubbies, yeah.
any like specific merchandise or anything like that. And so number 4, similarly, something which probably you would have been a slightly older kid if you were watching this.
Tweenies.
Not not Tweenies
It's
actually.
going to come up at some point.
I
one
should
day.
I should be more specific actually about this one. A lot of people like to rag on this and say it basically is just a rip-off of a much more successful franchise, featuring kids going out procuring certain
Digimon.
Digimon, yes.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Digimon.
Digimon. Yeah.
I know. We tend to rag on that. I should probably actually go and actually see some of it before I pass judgment. But
Yeah, I don't think actually it's too bad, Digimon.
yeah.
There are some similarities to obviously Pokemon, but I think that it does have its own sort of different methods as well.
Yeah. What about you, Connor? Where do you fall on Digimon?
I think I watched a couple of episodes, like when I got back from school and stuff, but I didn't collect it. I didn't really follow it, really.
Yeah. Did you get any Pokemon cards from its, much more successful counterpart back in the day?
Tended to just trade Pokemon cards at school, but never actually played the game or anything.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
that-
what
that-
everyone did. They didn't actually play the game. They just traded the cards. Yeah.
Back in the day, yeah, well, they were so popular, weren't they? Another
Yeah.
fad that hit the world and then died as well. But yeah, Pokemon cards were all the rage, just trading them, and especially you got the special ones as well.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned to you, Phil, before how the only card that I can remember ever having Pokemon card was Bellsprout.
Oh, Bellsprout.
I don't remember any others that I had or anything like that. So yeah. And 1997, number 5. So this is a doll or a set of dolls, I should say. Once again,
Brats.
not Bratz.
Damn it!
You're going to carry on with the brats now.
Fine,
Gordon.
Tweenies.
Tweenies.
Not Tweenies. I'll give you
How
more
dare
of a
you?
clue.
You can't take my answer.
There was
Right,
a.
right.
I'll give you more of a clue. There was a band that was all the rage at this time.
Rage Against the Machine.
No, I think that's a completely different time, Phil.
Yeah.
1997. So popular music band. Everyone loved.
Metallica.
I think there were 5 members of it.
Oasis? No, they
Nope.
weren't.
It's the Spice Girls Girl Power Dolls, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, that would
Indeed.
see.
Yep, indeed. So 1998. Moving on. Number
There
1.
seems to be a trend, doesn't there? It seems to be
Yeah.
games, gaming consoles, dolls, and some tacky shite.
Takeshi.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
You just described all toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single toy in existence.
Indeed. So 1998, number 1 is something that again has already been mentioned. People either loved them or they thought they were very creepy.
Marmite.
Marmite?
Marmite.
Marmite?
Is
Best
this
toy.
where Furbies?
Furby,
where-
yes.
Yeah.
Furby, and that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did have one actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
Furbies were a bit strange.
They were just a little bit weird, indeed.
Especially there was that one video I watched where they actually took the fur off the Furby. And you
God.
see what it looks like underneath. Oh dear God!
Ooh.
It's like something out of an eldritch nightmare.
Yes.
I think H.P. Lovecraft would be proud.
He probably would be, yes.
What's
Cast it
that
back into
film
the
that had
fires
the
of hell.
Furbies in that came to life? It's
Oh,
escaping me.
Gremlins.
That's it. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
it.
Oh God, that was a weird film. It's like they couldn't be touched with water, otherwise
Yeah,
they turn
that was
evil.
it.
Yeah. I remember watching Gremlins, and I always thought to myself, I cannot tell what kind of tone this film is going for, like, because the Gremlins themselves look kind of comically adorable, and yet people actually die in that film. They actually kill people.
Yeah.
It's like really flipping weird.
Strange little horror film.
Yeah, indeed. So weird. But yeah, also the fact that the protagonist is like 20-something, works in a bank, and yet lives with his parents and has like the most kiddiest frigging bedroom ever. And I think to myself, what is going on with this film? It's so strange. It's just like the tone is just weird to me.
It was a very weird film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a trend because the Power Rangers
Maybe.
movie was weird as well. If either of you saw that,
No, I don't think I did actually.
the evil villain, like mind controlled all the parents to walk off a cliff.
Right.
Eh?
Oh damn.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that does sound weird. A bit like Lemmings.
But like when you watch it, you don't think it's that bad when you're a kid. You think it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
but it's actually pretty bad.
Yeah, it's when you get into adulthood, you start to realise the implications of what's going on.
Of gravity.
Of gravity as
Yeah.
well. Yes, gravity is certainly a thing
Yeah.
that
You know,
happens to people.
That'd make a great topic for another Sue Being Hunted podcasty episode. That was just things in your childhood, which at the time you never really sort of realised how dark they actually are. But
Yeah, it's a good show. isn't
yeah,
it?
things like that, because I'm sure there's plenty of stuff.
Teletubbies being augmented with televisions in the stomachs, probably one of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Oh, God, what was that all about? I mean, television's in their stomach.
Yeah, indeed. So getting back
Deus
to
Ex prequel.
yeah, getting back to 1998 then. So in second place was Bop It. Do you remember Bop It?
Oh, I love
yes.
Bop It.
That was it was funny because it would be the thing that you'd start shouting instructions at you, wouldn't it? And you'd have to
Yeah.
keep doing what it said.
It's sped up over time.
Yeah, it got quicker. Squeeze it, bop it. And it just kept-
So number 3, another video game console that we've already mentioned. I said it was going to come back up. Someone already took a guess at it.
Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color, yeah, that's the one.
There we go.
Indeed,
Wow, it took them a long time, didn't it, to get from the
Yeah.
black and white to the colour one?
yeah. However many years it was. Yeah. Number 4 is something called Pro-Yo. Do you remember what Pro-Yo was? I don't remember
Is
that
it a
myself.
yo-yo?
I think it is just a yo-yo.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Just a branded one.
Okay.
Branded
I do,
yo-yo,
Yeah. I do remember people playing a lot with yo-yos at a particular
Oh,
year.
I couldn't
in the 90s.
I couldn't get the hang of it. I didn't know what I was doing. All this, people doing this like walking the dog and
Oh,
I
God.
couldn't understand how to do
Yeah.
it all. It's like those Diablos as well.
Yeah.
The big sort of
Oh,
hourglass
yeah.
thing.
I
with
had
the
one of
string.
them.
Yeah. I could never get into twerk.
So yeah. So I was just thinking. So with the Pro-Yo, were they the ones that were like sort of neon colours in like clear plastic, that kind of thing? Is that what they were?
Yeah.
Those.
Did they might have did they light up when you did
Oh, did they? I can't remember.
like sketches? Remember those?
Okay.
Those
Yeah.
trainers that kept lighting up all the time.
Sketches and Pro-Yos.
Ugh. Yeah, if you had the light up
Blades.
trainers when you were a kid.
Oh
you were
God, do you
one of the
remember
cool
Blades?
ones.
Yeah,
Oh.
those trainers that you could basically have like wheels in the back of them.
Yeah.
Oh, Heelys.
Yeah, Healy. Oh, that's it, Heelys, wasn't it? Sorry,
Heelys,
yeah, it's
yeah.
Healy. But they had the wheels in the back of them, and you could basically just go on them like they were roller skates.
Yeah. Do you recall those? That was cool kids only. That was. Yeah. Indeed. And number 5 for 1998 is something called Laser Challenge. Do you remember what that was?
No, it's
I
not
bet that
Laser
was
Quest.
just like, Laser Quest.
Yeah.
Like a gun and like a sensor thing.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
assuming that's probably what it was, something like that. But no, I'll have to Google them later
God,
and try
that
and
sounds
find
like
out what
something
they
that
were.
would be expensive.
Yeah,
Only
probably.
the expensive mums and dads could get their children.
Actually, yeah. Looking at the price back then, it would have cost you £44.99. So I don't know what it was. Like, adjusted for inflation today, that would be about 76.89 apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not terribly
Not
expensive.
terribly, yeah, but not cheap either. So, yeah, I don't know. 1999, so first place. So I mentioned earlier there's a Pokemon game or whatever it was on this list, so if you had to take a guess.
The trading cards.
Not the trading cards, no.
Yellow.
Nope. We're just going to go through all the colours now, I think.
Yeah. Come on, Phil, this is
1999.
your expertise.
1999. I'll give you a clue. The name has colours in it.
Red and blue.
Red and blue.
Oh.
Yeah, it's red and blue.
Yeah,
there you go.
It was red and blue at that stage.
Yeah, indeed.
Wow, that's So everyone was wanting it then, when it was released like 4 years ago,
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
3 years ago.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Was that in Japan first?
Oh.
Well, I think it would come through, because it was 1996 was the original release date, but yeah, it could have just been Japan.
Yeah.
I think it blew up in Japan first before coming over here.
Yeah.
Well, they also had green.
Ah,
They had red, blue. They had red, blue, and green.
Okay. Yeah. So they.
And then obviously they released yellow, which was.
Yeah, that sounds probably like you say, like it probably was released somewhere else first, and then it eventually got brought over to Europe and North America, I would assume, something like that. Okay, yeah. Number 2, board game. It's a pretty. This one actually sounds really boring to me.
Tweenies.
Not Tweeny's board game. No.
Tweenies, the board game.
Nope. It's
Rats, the board game.
I'll give you another clue. It's a TV quiz show.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes.
Trivial Pursuit.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The game, the board game, whatever it is.
Board game. Oh.
Which is why I say I could not think of anything that sounds more boring. But
How would that work?
I mean,
how could you ask the audience or phone a friend? What are you
Yeah.
going to do in the middle of the board game? Oh, just hold on 1 minute. I'm just going to
You get to ask the people you're competing against.
Yeah,
ask
indeed.
the audience. So what's the answer to? And then when it comes to phone a friend, just hold on. We're just going to pause this game. Hello, Mum. Yeah, can you help me out here?
No, you wouldn't even ask to play. You'd get your old landline out and call a relative or something.
You get your dream phone out.
A dream phone.
Hi, Granny. How are you? Yeah. It's been a lovely day today. Yeah. Anyway, I've just got. Oh yeah. What? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you cooked me a nice meal. Yeah. But I've got something. But what?
I've got
now?
30
Yeah,
seconds here,
yeah,
Granny.
okay.
I need to get the question and the answers out to you. There we are.
You have to explain you're not on the show either. You're just playing the board game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you gave that 30-second timer. Yeah.
Yeah. So number 3. I didn't have this specific thing, but I had something from this brand, and I remember really loving it. So, did either of you have a Scale Electric back in the days?
Oh, yes.
The race cars.
100%.
Yes. Specifically,
Weird
this
one,
is
yeah.
Scale Electric AFX Vertigo set, which I don't
I
remember
don't
that
know about
specific
that one,
one.
no.
But
That was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just had the default one, the one where you got
Yeah.
the 8-track, the loop of 8, and you
Yeah.
just went took your cars around it. Yeah.
Same here. Yeah. It's like a default, just simple loop, basically. Number 4 is another sort of video game related thing. It's to do with the Game Boy, but I'm guessing it's like a specific accessory.
The printer.
Not the printer, no.
The link to the
Nope.
Nintendo 64 or something.
No.
The camera.
Camera, yes.
Oh,
It
it's
was
the
a Nintendo
camera.
Game Boy camera, which I didn't realise it actually came. It had a camera.
Yeah, I
That's
think
very
it's,
surprising. It's a bestseller.
Yeah.
no. I think it
Indeed.
was so you could take pictures of yourself and impose yourself into the game.
Oh, okay.
It was something like that. Yeah.
Strange. Okay, I would never have. Well, I didn't even know actually of that, so I'd never have guessed of it. But yeah,
It's how old people sent nudes to people
Yeah. That's
using the Game Boy printer.
oh jeez. Okay, so before we had Omegle, we had the Nintendo Game Boy camera for the dick pics and all that, basically.
for Omegle and chat roulette.
Oh jeez. Yeah. And number 5 in 1999 was something called Tycho Rebound, which I've never heard of. Do you remember that one?
Is that an RC car?
Is that what it is? I don't know.
I
Apparently
just
it would've-
remember Tycho. I'm sure they did like remote control cars.
Yeah. Apparently back in the day it would have set you back 75 quid, so
Oof.
yeah. Must have been a pretty good RC car if that's what it was.
No, there was a rage, wasn't there, with RC things? I remember
Yeah.
there's planes and boats and all sorts of things like that.
Still plenty of them around, yeah. Okay, so now we come obviously to year 2000, so might as well just do this year to round off the decade and all that.
Yeah.
First place is something that I do not remember at all. Does anyone remember the Texter robotic dog?
Yeah, it could flip. I think that's all it could do.
That was it. Yeah, just think of that one. Yeah, I think we're on the same page, Connor. Yeah, it was that weird dog with like a visor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just barked and flipped.
Yeah, again, I think my sister had one of those.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember that really myself at all.
How old would I have been in 2000? Hang on, I'd have been 8 years old then.
Oof, God, yeah. Jeez, you don't want to think about that now, do you?
I know.
Yeah. Number 2 was the micro scooter.
Micro scooter.
Don't know.
What differentiates that from a normal scooter?
I don't know. Maybe it's just micro-sized.
I think that's just the one that folded up, wasn't it?
Was that what it was? I don't remember.
More people wanted to get out into the outdoors then.
Yeah. I know a lot of people around about that time. There was all like rage. I think with the Razor scooters, those ones. Metal ones. Yeah.
I did have a scooter. I remember having a scooter, but not one that folded in or did anything fancy.
They break your ankle if they hit you.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Number 3 for 2000, something called Amazing Ally. Does anyone remember what that was? I don't remember that.
Ally.
I don't remember that one at all.
Sounds like another Pip-Boy to me.
Something. Who knows? Yeah.
Helping us scour the wastelands.
Yeah. Number 4 is something else related to Pokemon, actually.
Gold and Silver.
No, I don't think this is a game. I'm assuming it's some like merchandise for it or something. I'll give you a clue. It's the whole reason why, Phil, you introduced Connor to me. It's related to that anyway.
The Pokédex.
It's the Pokédex, apparently.
Oh, you got an actual Pokédex.
Yeah, something like that. And number 5, last one for 2000. So I should actually explain. This one's technically not a toy, but it's something that at this round about this time everyone was probably getting, because overall the size of them had been slowly going down.
Lego.
Nope, not Lego. So not a toy, but something you could use. Technically, something you'd use.
Back scratcher.
That's very specific. But no.
It's technically something good that you can use.
Yeah. Trying to think. So probably, when you're at high school and all that, all kids would have had one of these items, not necessarily this brand, but everyone would have had it. You might have been able to message your friends with it. Maybe play like really old friggin' pixely sort of games on it, like Snake and things like that.
3310.
It is. It's Nokia 3310. Yes, you're absolutely right.
The ultimate phone, isn't it? Really, the phone that never breaks.
Yeah, that would have set you back apparently 150 quid back then. About 245 quid now. So.
Oh my God, that's cheap as chips. Look at the latest iPhone now, which is about over £1,000.
Yeah, but iPhone is actually later on this list, somewhere in the 2000s, I think. So yeah,
right,
indeed. Now, acknowledging, of course, that we've been going for quite a while there with this episode, going through all our 90s stuff.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
wasn't it,
I think probably that's the time to start thinking about wrapping that one up. I mean, I'm going to keep hold of this list though, because at the very least, me and Phil, if we have another episode like this again, we could always just go through some of the other decades, and particularly going back to the 70s, for example, and seeing what kind of weird stuff was the best sellers.
And
in
if
the
Connor's
UK
interested in joining again,
yeah, it's been a blast. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah, tell you what, in that case, I think we'll sort of wrap this episode up here. So in that case, thanks for joining us then, everybody, and hope you enjoyed watching. Usual outro spiel, my Facebook and Twitter links are down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. If you enjoyed, a like is, of course, always appreciated and all that. Other than that, it's 3 of us signing off now, and let us know in the comments if you recognise any of those toys, whether or not you're from the UK, because I imagine there's probably a fair bit of overlap with toys that from
hang on,
the
just
US.
one thing.
One thing,
Where's
Phil,
the
go ahead.
tweenies?
Oh yeah,
tweenies?
no tweenies, Phil. No tweenies.
Yeah, and the brats maybe.
No brats, no tweenies or brats. Oh God, it's all.
Maybe that's 2000s, Phil.
It might be, because I feel like. Oh yeah, looking at the list here, there is one somewhere in the 2000s for brats. That is somewhere in the 2000s.
Yeah, there you go. You're salvaged.
Brat's board game.
Yeah.
Brat's the board game. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for everyone. Thanks for everyone joining us, and thanks for you two joining us. And we'll say goodbye now. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Farewell.
what's happening. Oh, God. You should give up. You will never leave this place. And the footsteps. Just the music. Something stomping around. Oh. Hello. Hi. What's up with you lot? The figures stare at you from the other side of the windows. Probably best to just ignore them, right? Your mother will be devastated to learn that she's now completely alone. Your husband and your daughter, everybody left her. How pitiful. How dare you say something like that? You know nothing about me. Oh, it doesn't matter. You're fucked.